Hey everyone, this is George. I said I'd be doing a zombie profile. This is the zombie deck that I usually run at my locals, as well as everywhere else. Like I said before, this is my favorite archetype to run. I think zombies are amazing. I'm really hoping on the second format, come September, that we actually get a Mizuki back. The only reason I speculate on this is because Lightsworn's got a second Lumina, so if they can have that, why not a second Mizuki? Anyways, the main core of the deck starts out pretty standard. You run one Plague Shredder, one Mizuki, triple Goblin Zombie. He's a floater in the deck, and it doesn't matter how he enters the graveyard as long as he hits it. It runs triple Pyramid Turtles. I actually have 3 super ones, and I need one more, so if you have one of those, I'm willing to trade for it. Runs double Decay. This is actually a pretty cool card. Some people know about him, some people don't. It's actually surprising how many people don't know about him. He's got 0 defense, but when he hits the field, his attack becomes half your opponent's life points. So he's a great first turn card. You open up with Turtle, they smash into it, assuming they do, and then he comes out, puts pressure on them, makes them use material. He's also level 5, so he's possible overlay material. You'd be surprised at how many times you could actually get him out, like for overlays. Skill Drain and Effect Failure kill him though. I run 2 Zombie Master. He's graveyard control, and I don't know, he just regulates on what you need to do. He's 1800 as well, so he's a beater. Spirit Reaper, I mean, he's a zombie, and he makes your opponent discard. He's a wall, assuming they don't pop him. Pain Painter. Second Plague Spreader, helps consistency. When he hits the fields, he's actually Plague Spreader, and his cool effect is that he can shrink your zombies and make them all level 2s, so you can make Archfiend Zombie Skull. I personally don't run him myself, because I think he's not worth the price. 3 Effect Failure. Pretty self-explanatory. This format runs a lot of stuff that you need to shut down. With the priority change gone too, really gives her a boost. I usually run 2 Ryos. I actually sold one the other week ago. Just common from Legendary Collection, but I didn't put one back in yet. I don't remember what card I took out. In fact, if you have secrets or golds, I'm looking for those. Sangan, toolbox card, Morphing Jar. One of the main reasons I run this card is because I don't think zombies have sufficient draw power. I mean, most decks don't have cards that specifically let them draw, but I feel this deck especially needs it, so I mean, whenever I get a chance, I try to, get pluses off that. Second, I play Dark Worlds. This guy comes out though. And with them being such an inexpensive deck, it really is a problem that you see often. Sorry. Gores, pretty self-explanatory. He wins games. I mean, he comes out early, he puts pressure on. He's great sync material, especially when you're running triple Veiler. Dark Arm Dragon. If you run that many darks in a deck, I mean, why not run Dad? He's not as good as he used to be, with priority being gone, but I still think he's a great card. He's one of my favorite cards of all time, and I mean, there's no reason not to run him. BLS. I know there's only 4 light targets, 3 Veilers, 1 Ryo. Typically there's 2 Ryos, but I usually run Magical Android too, sync her out if I need to. Just pretty easy to get out. He's normally not a dead card. Dark Hole, staple. Heavy Storm, staple. Book of Moon, staple. Triple Book of Life. For those of you who don't know, you probably all should, it allows me to special 1 zombie out of the graveyard, as well as remove 1 target out of their graveyard creature-wise. It's excellent in graveyard control. It lets me special quickly. It lets me get rid of stuff that I know is going to be problematic. I mean, it targets, it's not a cost, so even if they change something like Call to Haunt it doesn't matter. I still get my special. They can stop it with Solemn Warning. That's about it. But either way, I get to get something out of the grave or take something out of theirs. It doesn't matter if they save their target, I still get mine. I run it at 3 because a lot of decks are currently graveyard heavy, minus like Dino Rabbit, but even still, they don't really try to stop it. Triple MST. Like I said, I don't run back row, so I mean, with this, I try to clear the field and make pushes. 2 enemy controller. Surprised myself when I actually put these in, but it's a great card because I usually try to plus it off Goblin Zombie or Sangan. That way I'm getting my searches. If I tribute him, take control of their monster, swing with it, force them to get rid of it, or just tribute it. I run Endless Decay. Sometimes he's in my hand, so he's You never want them in your hand because you want to be able to special them out with Pyramid Turtles. But if you can't do that, and if you just want to waste a Tribute Summon, getting them out there, that's fine too. I mean, this is a great control aspect for decks. People don't run them as much these days that I saw. Creature swaps, same thing. It's the control aspect of the deck. I mean, it allows me to be super aggressive, sending my guys to the graveyard because, let's be honest, zombies aren't too strong, but when you get their big guys out there, it puts pressure on them. I mean, we take their big creatures and, you know, we get pluses off of it. Double duality. The deck specials, you know, quite well when it needs to. This just helps with consistency and draw. You know, I run 2, I wouldn't run any more than that. And then 1 Allure of Darkness. They run dark targets, why not? Okay, I guess we'll do the extra deck first. This actually just got put back in, Leviathan Dragon. The only reason I run him is because so many people run 3s, and I have like Spirit Reaper and Sangan, excuse me. And there have been a lot of times in duels I saw more recently that I just needed a level 3 overlay. Like, I could have took one of their creatures and stopped them from making plays with it. I just got tired of neglecting it, so I finally put him back in. So that's his reason. He's the only level 3 I run. Utopia, I consider him a staple, as do most people. He's a blocker. Utopia Ray, Ghost, same thing. There were a lot of moments when I could have took their Utopia, and I, you know, had I taken it, I would have had to have given it back. This allows me to overlay, make sure it doesn't go back to their field. Armory Arm, I mean, great combination with BLS, especially when it's Spirit Reaper and Effect Veiler. It fills the graveyard. Sync Armory Arm, you know, just gets him right out there. It's an OTK the second you attach it to him. Cataster, staple. Hades, one of the main reasons why I love zombie decks. This guy's amazing. He negates the effects of all effect monsters. So something like Gravekeeper Spy, Sangan, Treeborn Frogs. I know these are kind of irrelevant, but things that get themselves out of the graveyard, they have no effects. Things that activate in the graveyard have no effects. He makes it possible for all zombies on the field to negate effects. He's just amazing. He's only 2450, but whenever there's a face down card that I'm afraid of, he comes out. He's level 6, extremely easy to get out. He makes everything possible. Orient Dragon. I know a lot of people started taking him out with synchros, you know, slowly becoming obsolete in this current format. I think he's amazing, and if I'm playing 6 Sams, I definitely like having him. He's a level 6. They really have no way of getting Sheehan back. Iron Chain. I know who runs Iron Chain. Makes your opponent mill. You don't always want that, but he's also a level 6 platform, and I just think he's good. Brionic, staple, self-explanatory. Black Rose, staple, self-explanatory. Stardust, same thing. Void Ogre. The Sheehan for every deck that runs a Dark Tuner. Essentially, just set up your Brionic play, make sure you can empty out your hand, and, you know, set all your spells and traps that you can afford to. He's going to protect them with this 1 negate. He's going to, you know, allow your creatures to make push. If you're worried about backfield, set him up if you think you can get him out without getting warninged or bottomless or whatever the hell is going to happen. Get him out there, 3,000 attack, 3,000 defense, make sure your hand's empty. Half the time they don't pay attention to reading him, so he gets that free negate right off the back, and they mess up big time by losing materials. Scrap, staple. Mistworm, staple. Decisive Armor. Amazing against Chaos Dragons, especially when their hand is heavy. Okay, side deck. I run Burial. I actually want to put this in the main deck, but I haven't found out what card to take out. Double DD Crow. It's amazing having Book of Life, but when I feel like I really need it, if the deck isn't doing what it should, I put that in just to help with graveyard control. 1 Torrential. I need to put it at 2. Divine Wrath. I like Divine Wrath because I think it's versatile. I know people don't like paying the cost, but I mean, it also stops hand traps, so I think it's more versatile than something like Debunk. Chain Disappearance. Tour Guide, Rabbit, you know, Hornet, small creatures, it gets rid of them. Double Compulse. Helps with your overlays. Double Bottomless. Double Warning. Actually got rid of Judgment in the main deck. Double Decree. Like I said, I don't run traps. The only times I do is when I feel like I keep getting run over, especially if their deck is super graveyard heavy, like Heroes. I mean, half the time with Heroes I put in some traps with Decree just so I can get rid of Shining the right way. That's basically it. If you have any comments or suggestions on the deck, go ahead and shoot them towards me. This is what I run on Duel Network, so if you ever want to play against this deck, just shoot me a message and I'll play. This deck runs surprisingly well, and, you know, I might actually mess with the E-Tele engine to kind of make it more synchro friendly, even though it does well at its current endeavor, but I don't know, I just like changing it around every once in a while. Thank you.